So here's the full Facebook outreach guide. By the end of this video, you will be able to find where your niche congregates, scrape infinite leads on Facebook, find and exploit the message loopholes, and book appointments like there's no tomorrow. And these outreach methods will work no matter what niche you're in 100% of the time. So I used to be an IG outreach nerd. Instagram was the first place that I learned how to book appointments because when I started, I failed with cold email, LinkedIn, cold calls, everything, right? And I went on Facebook and I failed again. Why am I getting banned on Facebook after 10 messages? Why is Facebook asking for my ID? Why am I getting banned? All the issues I ran into on Facebook, but the platform was so lucrative. There are thousands of your ideal prospects in pain and mastermind groups everywhere. And its highly middle-aged user base means it's going to be exactly what your actual demographic local business owners are. And you can search for them in all one place. Bothered me a lot, right? Because if I could figure out how to actually exploit and outwit Zuckerberg, I'd have an untapped opportunity that a lot of agencies aren't actually going after. But this dream stayed a dream for months. And I went back to other outreach platforms, still booking appointments, but that potential was always in the back of my mind. And I met Matthew Deegan. Matt Deegan is a member of the private RSC group, and when I met him, he was in the process of signing on his first clients. But Matt lived in the UK, and he worked in the UK home improvement niche, and that alone was a little too specific for Instagram outreach, and he wasn't doing cold call or cold emailing. So how is this dude actually doing his outreach at all? And the answer was that he was using Facebook. And he was managing to book 4+ appointments per 100 messages that he sent out, which is extremely effective, and he was using a fully different approach than I'd ever seen anyone else do. So I asked Matt, how are you able to do this? Why does your Facebook page work so differently from mine and everyone else's? And what I heard next was a very strong weapon that actually got added to my outreach arsenal. So in order to convey this information in the most valuable way and disposable and actually digestible format possible, I'm just going to give an outline of what he told me. Number one is, should you be outreaching on Facebook in the first place? Where should you be scraping leads? How should you be leveraging the prospect's info? And how to avoid bans. And I'll do a live video demo at the end of this as well. So, should you be outreaching on Facebook? The platform for outreach will always be like a solid, it will be good no matter what, right? But depending on the niche, Facebook can sometimes be a little less effective than some of the other outreach platforms that'll have more leverage. Right, so the only really case where this actually exists is in internet-based businesses. So agency owners, online PTs, coaches, e-com, etc. Right, all these niches, they already exist and congregate, post on platforms like Instagram. So there's really no need for you to go on a platform like Facebook that's super hyper-targeted. Other platforms will be higher leverage. So if you're in one of those niches, the targeting potential with Facebook combined with the leverage that it gives you makes it a no-brainer as a manual outreach platform that you should be doing. So, number two, where should you be scraping leads? Facebook has 3 main methods of scraping leads. 2 of them are in the app and 1 is outside of them. So you've got location niche scraping, you've got group scraping, and then you've got the actual Google Maps scraping. Of those, they're going to remove the Google Maps scraping because it is pretty low leverage and requires a lot more time than the other 2. So now we're left between 2 lead scraping methods, and those are going to be the group scraping and the location scraping. Matt Deegan advised me to do both of these, right? Absolutely both from the start. The process of executing this is actually extremely easy. So first, you're going to search in your niche and join every single possible group for that niche. And I'll give you a live demo right now. So I'm on X, and let's say that I am in the home improvement niche. We'll go with that because that's what Matt Deegan was in. So I'm going to type home improvement, and I'm going to and I'm going to sort by groups. So then I would go ahead and I would join all of these groups down here. And this would be the exact first step. And you're just going to go, and some of them are going to be private, as you'll see in just a second here, but you still join them, you still fill in the information no matter what. Let me go back into the presentation. So that's going to be the first thing you do. Yep, as I said, you're going to apply to even the private groups and make sure that the ones you do apply to have frequent postings in them, so not just dead groups. And once you've joined several groups, you are now actually ready to prospect using the group scraping method. You can go through those groups and message anyone who have mentioned that they have their own company when you sort by the people in that actual group itself. Or you can decide to take the expert approach and share value in the main feeds. But as a beginner, this might not be the best way of the two to actually do Facebook outreach. Because in order to see success with this method, you having authority and true expertise is really what makes it work, right? You have to be able to step into the spotlight and tell people and tell your actual ideal niche things that they don't know already so that you appear as someone of value and someone that they want to talk to, right? And if you can't quite do that yet and you're not confident to do that, it won't be the most effective outreach method. On the other hand, the location niche scraping is the actual beginner-friendly approach that I would do no matter what. And all you need is a map of the country you're reaching out to and a list of cities. Then head over to Facebook, right? So what you're going to do and the actual process of doing this, you go in the search bar and type insert niche and then location. Example, kitchen remodeling, Miami, right? And I'll go to a live demonstration and give you an exact example of this. So we had the home improvement niche. How about we do home improvement Miami? It's the only state I think of right now. So then what we can do is we can sort not only by people, right? If we go by people here, boom, here's one. Then we can also go by pages, right? And we can look at these, and these are all people that we can reach out to, right? And all home improvement Miami, and it goes down this list, so and so. And this list will go down, and it goes down and go down. There's a bunch. What we could do is we can pop out a list of Florida. So we can go all cities in Florida. It's from Miami's app. So now we can go down and we can do this for every single city that we got. So now we can go home improvement Jacksonville. And we can just keep lead scraping on and on and on like this. And yes, some like those who we don't want to go after will be there. We can still go all these people, and we just keep going down and down and down and down. And in most cities, it will give you around 40 to 50 leads. If we got all these cities, we've got the 50 states in the United States, we've got a lot to work with. So we can definitely scrape leads. And that's how the insert niche and location actually works. Dive back into the presentation here. And that is how you can infinitely scrape through leads on Facebook, just by going down and scraping by city, insert niche city. And you can do this with any niche at all. So number 3, how should I actually leverage the prospect's info? So on most business Facebook accounts, a phone number will likely be publicly displayed, and this opens what's called omni-channel warm calling. And I know that sounds very fancy. I meant it that way. So what this means is that we can hit the prospect from multiple different angles and make a lot more progress than someone who just has a one-track outreach campaign, just hitting them straight on, and if they don't answer, they don't answer. So here's Matt Deegan's process on how to actually do this. So you're going to like 3 of their posts, then you're going to leave a super genuine comment using this framework. So compliment into a personal relation. So if I was reaching out to like home improvement, kitchen remodeling, hey, I think that color looks super nice. It looked pretty nice in my kitchen. Boom. And compliment, personal relation, right? And that's the framework that you'd follow. Super, super simple. Then he would send a hook message to get actually into the company inbox. So the hook message would just be an open book question to provoke a response. So an example of a hook message, if we're in the painting niche, could be, hey, do you offer commercial or residential jobs, right? Because that is going to be a very open-ended question. It doesn't lead us on like we're a customer, but it is a very good message to provoke a response. And after the hook message, we wait patiently. And then only for the prospects that responded, we're going to give them a call with the information that they have publicly displayed onto their page. So let me pull out Paint and I will give you a flow of this. So step number 1, first things first, we're going to like 3. Step number 2, we're going to comment. Spelled it wrong. Step number 3, we're going to comment. And step number 3, we are going to hook message the person to their inbox, which will go into the requested. And the reason why we do the interaction up here is so that our hook message actually gets seen by the prospect and they see us as a human being. So all of this is meant to build enough rapport and trust up so that this message becomes completely unsuspecting and genuine to provoke a response. And then step number 4 is going to be to call them. And this is the point where it opens for the flow. So if they answer, and let me draw this out. So if they pick up over here, then we're going to actually, I guess, pull out a discovery call type of call where you go, hey, I've got 5 minutes or so. Do you mind if I just explain a little bit about who I am, what I do, all these things? And then you're going to go down what is the warm call framework, which is essentially just a cold call, except they already know your name, etc., because they responded to your hook message. If they don't respond to the actual call that they give you or the call that you give them, you're going to then just pitch in the DMs. And depending on their response on the DMs, then you're just going to segue back into the warm call after. And that's how it will loop just like that. And the follow-up campaign will be the exact same through the messages, where you can still also give them a call as a follow-up as well. But that is the initial flow of how the actual strategy from Matt Deegan looked. And just to zoom out so you can see it a little bit more, that is the whole thing. And it's combined with this lead scraping method that I showed you before. So that being said, I hope that the value, and actually, no, I'll go actually about quickly like this. So that was exactly how I ended up messaging them. Next, we're going to give you a live example, just as I did. So that's exactly how you go through and do all that. So the best way to do it is to start with 2 accounts, right? So this is how you actually avoid your ban limitations. So why don't you use the strategy once you have it all applied? You still need to avoid getting banned on Facebook because it does happen a lot. The best way to do that is to get 2 accounts and make sure they're both verified under different IDs. You can either purchase one, ask your friends, grandma, uncle, whoever it might be, to just use their Facebook account. You can change the name to you, whatever it might be, and outward from there. Make sure that you space out your messaging. So when you're doing those interactions in the flow, make sure that you space out the actual hook message to hook message from a prospect by at least 30 seconds, and that will allow your account to not get banned. And over time, Facebook will gradually allow your limit of actually sending messages to go up a little bit more. And while that process is still happening, you want to make sure that you have multiple accounts, so that if one gets limited, you're not getting stagnated. And now it's time for the live example. And I hope that the actual time that I stole from you was worth the value I provided, because as you're doing the messages, and I'll explain one more time. So between hook message to hook message, right, because we're going to have to repeat this 50 times. So if we X2 this over here, and let's say it was there, and we have this exact same flow over here, all we want to do is we want to take this time in this window of time, we want to space it out by at least 30 seconds in between, because that will make it seem a lot more organic. And when we're leaving a genuine comment, it's going to be relatively different every single time, so that Facebook does not ban us immediately, because Facebook detects when something repeats over and over and over again, and it bans that extremely quickly. So you just want to make sure you're switching everything up a little bit, minor tweaks each time, so you don't seem like an absolute AI. And that being said, that's the video. I hope this taught you a little bit more about Facebook outreach, and I hope you can book some appointments.